All these rejections from the middle Bollinger Band.
Resistance we're going to need.
If you actually see here, we get a
And we'll look for a
hard
healthy
double
higher
I
low.
would not
don't have
be
the
convinced
pullback
to
across
enter
the
a long
trend.
trade.
All these rejections from the middle Bollinger Bands. Just kidding. Bulls are breaking out. It's a wild day for me today. Biggest profit day I've ever had in my trading career, thanks to Canadian MJ, WEED, having a bit of a short squeeze. News came out after a bearish. Well, I mean, let's go over it just real quick. Psychologically, there's an impact as well, and there's things to learn. So we had an absolute short squeeze scenario, and now Bitcoin's trying to do that short squeeze. We had a 2-day all-out dump. There was bearish news to do with Ontario. Then there was a bearish earnings report came out after last night, I should say, after hours. And then this morning, we get news that Consolidation Brands, which is the huge alcohol company, has invested another $5 billion into WEED. Huge move to the upside. That was a big surprise. It took the entire sector with it. There was tons of trading opportunity in this name today and a lot of volatility. The market has a ton of volatility today overall. So I'm at the point now where I just need to stop trading and go do something else. But Bitcoin bulls with their break. So we played this break as well. So the last that I checked in, I had an Ethereum position looking for the daily oversold bounce. I exited that position initially over, actually, we'll go into my personal trades at the end here. Let's just go the usual rundown. We're only going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum as I am doing my midday update, then going right back to stocks. So we broke resistance. So we had a bear flag on the daily time frame. It confirmed, but we only dropped $100. That's signal number one. The lack of any follow through from the bears with the shorts already so extended definitely was notable. So we say, okay, that's signal number one. It's time to pay attention. Let's see if the bulls can put some pressure on the shorts. Then we had, at the end of the video yesterday, a potential just a 4-hour bear flag. We formed a 4-hour inside bar and it broke bullish. The bulls got a lot of follow through. This is the same psychology as a little bit of a cup and handle pattern. Left side of resistance was 65.45. We topped out at 64.90. Pulled back briefly, another 4-hour inside bar bull break with follow through. So 2 4-hour inside bar bull breaks giving signals, and there's actually 3 if you look at from all the way down towards the bottom. Solid bull volume behind it, and look at the exponential moving averages. This is the first time we're getting a bull cross on the 4-hour time frame since our lower high at 8,500. This makes things very, very interesting. So the bulls still have a lot of proving to do. This is a nice move. The shorts aren't being squeezed. We're putting a little bit of pressure on the shorts, but we're not seeing a rush to the exit like we would if there was, a $500 move in 1 hour. So the daily time frame, now we're at exponential resistance. So that's what I mean by the bulls still have proving to do. What I need to see is a bounce with follow through, a higher low, and then a higher high. And that's going to give us a weekly equilibrium. So have been saying on this weekly time frame that I anticipated a higher low would form rather than just dropping straight to a lower low. And we certainly got very close to that level. Looked like we were going to fall through it, but the bulls are defending it. So let's now see if we bounce and set a lower high, perhaps in the low 7,000s, and then give a clear equilibrium on the weekly time frame. So as for short-term action, what was the clear signal? We had obviously that break of 64.90. If you look on the 5-minute time frame, 64.90 had multiple tops at it, and that's where the bears were making their defense. Here's this wick from back yesterday, and we triple topped there before the bull break, and I market bought into that resistance of 64.90, anticipating follow through. So what we're looking at right now is healthy consolidation on the 5-minute. We're going to need to see healthy consolidation on the 15-minute to keep exponential supports, healthy consolidation on the hourly to keep higher lows and keep exponential supports. 4-hour time frame, back testing and holding the exponential, great sign. We need that to continue. And the daily time frame, again, the more upside and follow through we see, the more likely a daily higher low is going to be. And in my opinion, we're going to need a daily higher low and then a higher high to get to that target of the low 7,000 range to give us the tightening weekly equilibrium pattern. So currently, I do not have any, well, let's go into Ethereum, then we'll do the trades. I've been actively trading crypto more so today than I have in a long time. So daily time frame, bullish reversal, volume climax candlestick, long lower wick being confirmed. We're just going to set a lower high on the daily. So we're nowhere near changing any daily trend. It's going to require a lower high, higher low, and higher high to try and change that trend. The 4-hour time frame, this bull flag was very convincing. Look at the declining bear volume, very healthy consolidation. Excuse me. And then the continuation. So that was a great sign for the bulls as well. Hourly exponential support holding on this consolidation. Bulls want to keep that up. So we've been in a standpoint where we've been watching all these exponential resistances for the shorts to make entries. Now all of these short-term exponential moving averages are acting as support, and the bulls need that to keep up. So make note that it will be a red flag if we do lose any of these levels. So my personal trades, I was in Ethereum at 274 average. I exited on the first bull move. I exited in the 280s up here, and that was just a lock-in profit counter trend. That made me green 3 trades in a row, and I wanted to keep that little streak up. Again, I'm not going for any home runs countering the trend. I'm just locking in those gains. Then when I saw this consolidation, I put out the tweet this morning. I said, bulls are currently seeing very healthy consolidation. It would take a big volume spike for the bears to change that. Keep your eyes out, bulls. Let's see if the shorts are sweating a bit. So obviously we got that follow through, but this consolidation on both Bitcoin and Ethereum was extremely bullish. Again, declining bear volume, just establishing a higher low. It was an inside bar that broke bullish for Bitcoin, and for Ethereum, it was a bull flag. So what I did to try and enter this position is I placed buy orders under 279.23, and that was the low of our consolidation at that point. Ideally, the bulls hold that level to stay their strongest, but if they break it, I'm okay getting some entries in the lower 270s. So I placed buy orders down there, but knowing how healthy the consolidation was, I didn't want to miss this move. I also placed a stop buy order if these hourly lower highs broke. So as soon as 289.16 broke, I think I had my stop buy at 289.99 so that I wouldn't get a lot of slippage. A lot of that would be filled at 290 resistance. So I was triggered into the trade. The trade triggered before Bitcoin broke bullish. So I was in the trade and I said, all right, now we need the Bitcoin follow through in order for me to be confident. And we obviously got it a little bit delayed. So while I was waiting for that Bitcoin follow through, I was watching big bids on the market order on GDAX. And those bids were bigger than we've seen in a long time, 200 plus. So I was adding my coins to those bids. And then as soon as we got to that wall of resistance on the 5-minute time frame that we had rejected multiple times from, I market bought that wall with a lot of, I went all in. So I took out a lot of that wall with everybody else. It instantly fell down. And knowing that I was in so heavy, all in, I instantly started scaling out on this bull move after $50 to the upside. So trigger in, market buy at 64.90, and I started selling at 65.49, 65.69, 69.89. And that's just to limit my risk because I don't want to be all in this scenario. I also have a GBTC position in the stock market anticipating this break. I entered that at 960. It's currently trading at 969. So I've got even bigger position. So again, the reason that I locked in profits so quickly is because I was very overexposed and just wanted those very quick gains. And I currently have no position in Bitcoin. I still have my position in GBTC. I have a position in Ethereum. I scaled out some profit. So my market buy triggered at 290 pretty much. And I scaled out in the low 300s, 303.90, 304.90, 305.90 didn't hit yet, but I got a sell order there. I'm currently in half of my Ethereum position from my entry. It's been a week maker of a day just on crypto, not to mention the stock gains. So again, I'm very happy with everything right now, and I'm going to not get back any of this profit. So if you are not in a position, watch for exponential moving average supports as entries. The hourly time frame for Ethereum has been going well, as has the hourly time frame for Bitcoin. If you are bearish and you are looking for a bearish position, first off, let's look at the shorts at this point. So the shorts are starting to cover, but if you look at the 4-hour time frame, there's a lot of shorts still left here. There's a lot of shorts underwater right now, about 10,000 or so. So keep that in mind. There's still pressure, and if we get every leg we get up, that's more pressure on the shorts to cover. So I am currently going to be, let's see, if we were short, if we were looking bearish, we would want to potentially look to get in on a rejection from the daily exponential resistance or a loss of the 15-minute higher lows. If we lose 15-minute higher lows, that's a potential top fishing play if you are a bear. But again, at this point, with so many people still short, I would probably be sitting all cash right now and not looking to short just yet. A little bit too risky. This is the first, punch that the bulls have had in a while. I would want to see how this plays out a little bit. So that's where we stand heading into tomorrow. We're going to look for a 4-hour healthy consolidation. We're going to look to hold exponential moving averages. And as of right now, the bulls have short-term strength. There actually is a resistance level here, 66.33 on Bitcoin, and we did top out at 66.36. That's a potential top fishing play. If you enter bearish and then put a stop right above that, that would be pretty low risk, and that's something to be keeping an eye on. But other than that, there's a lot of space to the upside if that level does break. So that would be a potential play. But other than that, I would sit on the sidelines as a bear and wait for a more clear setup. I'd wait maybe for the hourly RSI to get real extended, or the 4-hour RSI to make its way up towards 70. The bulls have the short-term action, obviously, in their favor, and we'll see how long they can keep this up. So my game plan is to hold ETH, my half position I have left, as long as hourly higher lows are maintained, and we'll take it from there. So I hope you have a good day. Congrats to the bulls. Little victory, not a big victory. Really, this now just makes me zoom out to the weekly and daily time frame a lot more. Daily chart, if you give me a higher low and a higher high, weekly equilibrium is going to look real nice, and that weekly equilibrium is going to give us a potential setup. If we get the follow through up to the low 7,000s, I'm going to look for this weekly equilibrium to break probably early September, first week or two in September. Still a long way to go. We're going to check in every day until then, but congrats to the bulls. Nice win. GBTC now up at the high of the day, 973, still climbing. There are often times where GBTC will continue to climb even when Bitcoin is consolidating, so that is a nice bonus. So at the end of the video here, we've got, this was a sand dune we came across in Idaho out of nowhere. We were not planning this. It's something like 500 feet tall, and I'll never forget climbing to the top of this sand dune because it's extremely steep, and I don't like heights when you're right on the ledge. You know, I'm fine with heights if I'm not standing on the ledge, but this is a sand dune where when you're at the peak, you know, if you fall, you're just going to roll a bunch. So there's no risk, and it was a good way to conquer those fears a little bit. But I'll never forget the extremely steep ascent, and when you're on the last, 100-yard stretch, and just I had my head down, and you have to dig your feet into the sand dune, and I was digging my hands in as well because you're almost going, climbing straight up at that point, very steep angle. And I had my head down, and all of a sudden my hand reached over the top, and I pulled my head up, and it was just this expansive view of everything everywhere, and a really cool experience. And then I ran down the sand dune, as you will see. So thanks again, everybody. Continue to do good things. I'm certainly spreading the love today, and I just love sending random monies to friends who could use some help, and that is what I'm doing today. And GBTC is still going, 977 now. Thanks again. We'll check back in tomorrow with a little bit more in depth once everything chills out a little bit and I can catch my breath. And thanks for all the support yesterday. That was great. Got a bunch of good messages to counter that one bad message from that guy. And that certainly makes us very motivated when we get those.
On you.